Red embers glow bright night, shining armor ready fight. In the dark takes a stand, sword and shield, heart in hand.
Hey yo, what's up? Margie here, and welcome to another Monday Night Mix-Up. And today we are going to be checking out the latest release from NiziU, and this is entitled Rise Up. Not quite sure what to expect with this one, so let's just go on right ahead and check it out and see what NiziU has in store for us with this one. So here we go with Rise Up. Caterpillar. Ooh, who's that? Oh, it's Rio. Ooh. Ooh. We're going darker in this one. Ooh. Love that part. Ooh. Kinda edgy. Hmm. Ooh. Ooh, nice back and forth. Mm. Those parts are just amazing. Ooh. Nice. Oh. That is so. Oh, a butterfly. Oh, the caterpillar became a butterfly. Okay, okay. That was NiziU with Rise Up. And what was I gonna say at the end there? That is so intriguing to me musically. First of all, for a song called Rise Up, they sure did go down in the register. Yeah, like I actually love it when uh girl groups like this sing in their lower register. Actually, just like it when they sing in their lower register period. It kind of well, it brings a different sound to the table, right? And actually, for this song in particular, doesn't actually remind me of anything that I've listened to in K-pop so far. I mean, there might be songs that are similar to it in K-pop, but what it actually reminds me of is some of the darker J-pop that I used to listen to back in the day. Uh, Talking, of course, about Kyuto, cute. Probably it reminds me of. Okay, clarification. When I say a song reminds me of something, it doesn't remind me of a specific sound. It just brings back the same feelings that I felt while listening to those types of songs. For me, listening to music it's like a journey in like evoking feelings, and so like the feelings that this song is evoking within me while listening to the song kind of reminds me of like what my listening experiences were like with certain uh tracks in certain darker tracks from Cute's discography before. Well, Cute was a group that had a very diverse discography, and so they kind of had a little bit of everything, or mostly everything. And so yeah. So for me, this reminds me of my old J-pop days for some reason. So that's just it for me personally. Like for others, if you're into K-pop more, or like you you spent more time listening to K-pop, then it'll probably remind you of some of the darker K-pop from other groups. Uh, but for me, who kind of spent quite a few more years listening to J-pop, then it reminds me of the darker earlier J-pop that I used to listen to. And this is a very intriguing direction that NiziU is taking, and I kind of want to see where it goes. Like it's definitely edgier, it's more dramatic, and you can kind of feel like a greater weight on the impact of the song. Not quite sure what I'm describing there, but um, yeah. Anyways, there are a lot of parts of the song that I actually really like, especially the parts that you know uh kind of go fast compared to the beat. I think it's not even just double time, it's probably like quadruple time. There are certain parts in the verses there that just really tickled me musically. So yeah, let's actually give that a second run through, and let's see if I can point out some of those parts. So let's hit replay here. Okay, first of all, kinda creeped out by the caterpillar. Like I'm sure it's bigger than it looks right now. I mean it's smaller than it looks right now, but like zooming in on this, it's just ugh, bugs. Okay, this instrumental going on in the background, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say jazzy. It's not really, but this sort of like synth jazz sound. It kind of reminds me of. I actually don't know what it reminds me of, but it to me it's sort of like, yeah, like some sort of synth jazz. Hmm. It goes so well with this beat, and like the flow of their song. Okay, that part, yeah, right. And one thing I'm noticing more, like on the second playthrough so far, that that background instrumental is it's playing around a little bit. Hmm. Ooh. Okay, I think. Sorry, I think I kind of figured out why it sort of reminds me of my older J-pop days. It's cause the layering of the chorus, particularly with yeah the instrumentals and stuff like that. It feels a bit simpler because usually in K-pop nowadays you have like this crazy like multi-layered uh uh complex combinations of instrumentals, but this one is a bit simpler, which for me is not a bad thing because in a song like this, especially with them singing in their lower registers, it actually helps to lighten it a bit, and so you end up with a song that's not too heavy. Because I'd imagine if you went harder with not harder, but like a thicker layering of instrumentals with that chorus, that it might have just sat too heavy on the, like, sonically. The fact that it's you still have this like driving bass beat and stuff like that, but since it's not as thick with the layering, uh yeah, it just doesn't seem too heavy to me, which for me is a good thing. I don't like my songs too heavy. Actually, uh yeah, I actually really like this balance. Okay, sorry, before we get into that part, you also see a bit of it here with the rap part. Like it teeters on the edge of becoming just a little bit too heavy, and then it lets up, and then it comes back again, and then it lets up. Let's see it here. There. Okay, like it thickens up for just like a couple of beats, and then it stops, and then it comes back. One, two, stop. One, two, stop. Nice. Love that part.
Gonna rise up, rise up, rise up, going higher. I'll never give up, give up, give up, give up. Wake up.
Interesting. Okay, sorry. Oh, I didn't pause too much in that, but like that whole sequence over there, like starting with this imagery where they get up to the clouds, right? I mean, you still have that deep, heavy beat, right? But the instrumental is actually uh not as thick as you would expect it to be. Usually, songs would build up more and more towards the end in terms of, well, everything, right? Vocals, instrumentals. But over here, it seems like it's just more of vocals building up towards the end. Instrumentals are actually becoming more subtle. So I actually like the balance, especially since this is a song called Rise Up and they're literally ascending through the clouds right now. You really don't want like a heavy sound that makes you feel like it's dragging down, right? So they managed to really uh balance that quite nicely, that you can still go along with this imagery of rising up even though they are singing low in their lower registers, and you have this like low driving beat to it. So yeah, like really liking this. The way they're balancing it. You have that heavy driving beat, but the instrumental is still light. Okay, yeah. So actually the instrumentals are thickening up here, but it's actually more of percussion. Not so much on whatever synth or piano or anything. So for me, it still feels kind of balanced. Yeah. Wow. I actually didn't realize that on my first run through. That the melody line is carried more by their vocals towards the end there. Like we actually don't get much melodic instrumentals towards the end. It's just more of percussion. And the percussion sounds really refreshing, especially with that. I do not know what kind of percussive instrument that is. So the one that sounds like a big exhale, like that one. uh, Yeah, it just sounds very refreshing. And yeah, so really, really, really nice. Uh, what do you call that? Composition on that track. So yeah, like just reiterate my statement earlier. I'd really like to see uh where NiziU can take this sound going forward. I hope they explore more in this direction, or maybe fuse it with more of their uh brighter sounds. I wonder how that will go if they try to balance it that way. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, like on this second run through, like yeah, that's the I words. Realizing like what's going on with the instrumentals is kind of like it made me realize as well what makes this remind me of the older J-pop that I listened to. Cause like yeah, older J-pop didn't used to go as crazy as well with the instrumental. Sometimes simple is better, especially when you're trying to balance out heavy vocals. You would want to go with not exactly lighter instrumentals, but lighter layering on the instrumentals. So yeah, and the members of NiziU just performed this really, really well. I was very much hooked on their vocals. Like I loved seeing uh, almost all of them singing. If if not their lower register, then in their middle register, and yeah, it's just very, very striking. So, whew, very spicy comeback from NiziU, and here's to hoping for more in the future. So, anyways, I think that is probably it for my reaction to Rise Up from NiziU. Really solid track, very intriguing musically, and yeah, I like it. I like it. So, with that said, let's wrap up this reaction right here. So, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, feel free to check out my Patreon, where I also post reactions to longer form content, more casual content, most of which is available for free. You can probably see the titles pop up here on the side. There's also some bonus perks set aside for those who are kind enough to subscribe, such as access to my K drama and anime reactions, which, incidentally, you can also access for free for 7 days, as that is tier 1 of my Patreon and it has a 7-day free trial. So you might want to, well, try that out. Also, higher tiers of my Patreon get various levels of early access depending on the tier, as well as priority when it comes to recommendations. But don't get too fussed about all that. Like I said, most of the stuff on my Patreon is available for free. So don't be afraid to check it out. The link to my Patreon is in the description down below, as well as a link to a spreadsheet where you can more easily navigate and access the said free content on my Patreon. So you might want to start with that first. The link to that is also in the description down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me on this uh, hmm, intriguing and magical journey with NiziU. Until next time, have a great day, everyone, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.